So, if you're learning Portuguese, you have definitely seen this everywhere. That little word say attached to verbs. It can be a real head-scratcher, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to decode one of the most common and honestly most useful structures in the language, the passive say.
Does this look familiar? Alugam-se quartos. You see signs just like this all over Portugal and Brazil, maybe plastered on an apartment building or stuck in a window. This is the perfect example of what we're going to tackle today.
Maybe you've tried to translate it literally and ended up with something like rooms rent themselves, which, sounds a little weird. And hey, if you've thought that, you are definitely not alone. That C has a very specific job, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly what it is and how to use it like a pro.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The official grammar term for this is se apassivante, which literally means the passivizing se. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but trust me, the idea behind it is actually incredibly simple.
Here's the core idea. You use the passive se when you want to talk about an action without saying who did it. Maybe the person doing the action is unknown, or maybe it's just not important to the conversation. All that really matters is the action itself.
So how does it work?
Well, it all boils down to two simple rules. If you can master these two things, you've pretty much mastered the passive C.
Okay, rule number 1, the verb is always in the third person, always. And rule number 2, and this is the big one, the verb has to agree with the subject. So, if the subject is singular, the verb is singular. If the subject is plural, well, the verb is plural. That's it.
And this slide shows that second rule in action perfectly. Look at the left. A sala, the room. That's singular, so the verb is singular. Alúgase. Now look at the right. Os cuartos, the rooms. That's plural, so the verb has to become plural. Alúgamse. See that? The verb just follows the noun. That's the whole mechanic.
All right, time to put this into practice. I think the best way to really get a feel for this is to see the transformation happen, to see how an active sentence becomes a passive one.
So in the active sentence, our focus is totally on as pessoas, the people. They are the ones doing the watching. But when we switch it over to the passive C, poof, the people just vanish. The focus shifts completely to the action itself. Vê-se muita televisão. A lot of TV is watched. Who watches it? Doesn't matter. Not the point. It's a general statement.
And here we go again with that plural rule. Check this out. In the active voice, you've got people celebrate. But when we go passive, our new subject is os santos populares, which is plural. So the verb has to match, festejam-se. The popular saints are celebrated. It's just a clean, perfect transformation.
Oh yeah, you will find this structure all the time in recipes. It's a really quick, direct way to give instructions. Instead of a more formal, passive structure, you get this punchy lava-se alface. And just look at the agreement again. A alface is singular, so lava-se. But as batatas is plural, so cozimse. It's as simple as that.
Okay, now that you know the rules, let's go spot it in the wild. And I promise you, once you start looking for this, you are going to start seeing it absolutely everywhere.
This is a classic. You'll see this sign in any tourist area, any hotel, any restaurant. English is spoken here. Who speaks it? Well, the staff, probably, but the sign doesn't need to say that. The only important piece of information is that the language is available.
And here's another one you'll see taped to cash registers and stuck on shop doors all over the place. Cartões de crédito is plural, right? So the verb is plural, aceitam-se. It's just a simple statement of fact. Credit cards are accepted here.
And at a little cafe or a hotel, you might see this sign. Pequeños almoços, breakfasts. That's plural, so the verb has to match. Servem-se. It's just an announcement that a service is offered, and we don't need to know who exactly is doing the serving.
So the big takeaway here is that this isn't some obscure, dusty grammar rule you'll never actually use. No way. This is a fundamental part of everyday Portuguese that you're going to see on signs, in recipes, and in public notices all the time.
All right, let's boil this all down. If you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this next slide. Here it is in a nutshell. When the who doesn't matter, passive say is your go-to tool. Using it will make your Portuguese sound so much more natural and authentic. Just, and I'm going to say it one more time, remember that golden rule. Make your verb agree with your subject, and you are all set.
So, now that you have the secret decoder ring, what examples are you going to start noticing out there? As you listen to music, or watch TV shows, or even just walk down the street, you're about to see this structure with a whole new level of understanding. Happy spotting!